All right, this is Chesapeake Metalworks. We're going to be trying to move this LS Swap E39 project. It hasn't been started in probably, I want to say at least a year, if not 2 years. It's been sitting here for some time. I'm just going to move it forward to get it out of the way because we've got the E34 on a trailer behind it, and that's actually going to be the next project for the lift. By the way, we're still working on it. This project is not getting canceled. This is actually going to Florida. We're going to continue working on it down there, but for right now, it's in the way. We've got to try to move it. I just charged the battery. It's old, but hopefully it'll be enough for it to start. Hopefully nothing jumps out of here. There's no air filter, but the throttle plate was closed, so I think it's fine. We're gonna check the oil on it if I can. I think it's got a dipstick. There's a snake skin in here. Okay, this looks like the dipstick. It's pretty rough. Make sure we got oil in this. And it's right on the tip of the dipstick, so if you can see this, it's here, and minimum fill is here. So I'm gonna add some oil. That no funnel life. Barely even made a mess. All right, so I think that should be plenty. All right, I see oil all the way up to basically the maximum fill, so I think we're good. You've got this ECU sitting here, and there are a bunch of alligator clips going absolutely everywhere. I don't know how this thing is wired right now. It was put together temporarily, so we'll see if it starts. I don't know if that was the battery going dead, like flat, or if I just don't have it tightened down. I think it might be a bad, like a dirty terminal. The jury's out on the battery though. So to be clear, this battery is like 12 years old. So if it works, it's kind of a miracle. All right, we're ready. Let's try this again. All right, I don't think I'm getting fuel. Nothing. Okay, so if I had to guess, we're not getting power. Let's see what all we got down here. Ooh, I think I might see part of the problem. This is all corroded. So I'll turn the key. So that's run. And we'll see if I tap this. Okay, that relay is not clicking. This one is. Okay, so this must be supplying power right here to these guys. So we need to see if there's power there. It looks like there is. They're not. The fuse isn't blown. Try and blow the intake up. Okay, so fuel pump. Wonder if the fuel pump died. Okay, so the fuel pump's jumped. If it's running, it's on. The tank is also low on gas, but I have a feeling the fuel pump just doesn't work. Oh, I blew the plug out. Okay, so if you see that, so maybe that's part of the problem. You can see we have a nest up here. That's where the fuel line is. Let's see, I think the fuel line's okay. I probably shouldn't even be touching this. The wires themselves actually look okay, but I think I'm gonna need a shop vac out here, and we're gonna need to probably swap this fuel pump. All right, so first thing we're gonna do here is we're gonna check to see if we've got fuel pressure. This has been sitting since yesterday, but if this fuel pump was developing fuel pressure, I think we're gonna have a pressurized line here. So we just wanna pull this real quick and see if we see anything. My assumption here is that we're not going to. But I wanna make sure it's not just like an electrical problem. So we're gonna pull this line and it's dry. So we got nothing. Let's reinstall this. And that tells us right there, we don't have fuel. The next thing we're gonna be doing, we just confirmed we do not have fuel. I need to get a fuel pump. So I have the fuel pump out of the convertible. If you remember, that fuel tank was leaking and I still have the fuel tank. There's still fuel in it. I didn't know how to get rid of this thing. So it's still sitting here. We're gonna pull the fuel pump out of that, which was working. Who knows if it is now, it's almost 2 years later. And we're gonna try to put it in this vehicle. If we have to modify this one, it's not a big deal because this is, as we can tell, a very modified vehicle, and that fuel pump that's in there is not gonna stay there. We have this 5-gallon container. We're gonna try and get this fuel out of here. So if you look at that, that's all varnished. Easy. And keep in mind, there are 2 fire extinguishers right off camera, and there's more from where this came from. All right. All right, well, that's one fuel pump. Okay. And then as far as the electrical connectors go, those just pop off and they're molded in. The rubber on this is all deteriorated. That mount is very dead. Just kind of pull these off. And that gives us one spare fuel pump. So we have the E39 fuel pump assembly out. You can see it's a 2-piece assembly. It works differently. And there are some signs of corrosion on it. So hopefully this is the problem. We're gonna go ahead and try and remove this. You'll be happy to know I am not using a Dremel, as I saw all the comments from the last fuel pump video. I'm also still alive. Haven't blown myself up yet. That clamp's off. Set that off to the side. See if we can't pull that off the fuel pump. I don't know I can. Okay. That is one fuel pump removed, but now we have to swap the fuel pump itself. This assembly works differently. So this metal clip has to come off. And then hopefully we'll just slide out. Go ahead and see if the other fuel pump can swap on. They look similar, but the one out of the E36 is smaller. And obviously the outlet is different. Let's go ahead, and we got the fuel pump socks relatively clean. See if this will drop in there. And it does perfectly. And we do ground, positive. And if we get that on there, we'll have one hopefully working fuel pump. Zip ties. Definitely fuel rated. The new fuel pump is in it. New, right? Brand new used fuel pump here. Now we'll see what happens. Hopefully I hear a fuel pump. I hear a fuel pump. We'll cycle a few times, get some fuel pressure. I think it's like 4. All right. Now, check the gear shift. All right. Check that out. I don't know if it's just really bad fuel, if it's running out of fuel, or what. It does want to fire up. Put some fuel in. This stuff isn't, I don't know how new this is. Put a couple gallons in. Oh, I heard fuel. I think it was out of fuel. I hear air. All right, so it does run. Brakes work. That's all we needed. So it's out of fuel.